Hello and week 3. Welcome to week 3. Okay, so I told you I was going to start talking through what we're going to do and maybe get started on it this week. Got a 3D rendering I did on the computer. This area here is going to be patio. And then this area here with the weeds, we're going to turn this into this fire kitchen. So we're going to have a countertop that comes out here. We're then going to have a pizza oven and a smoker there, and then we're going to have a barbecue pit here. It's going to be really epic. Our pizza oven I'm going to put on the angle in the corner after looking at the designs. Feels like it's going to fit. This is all going to be paved and it's going to look great. So I've been busy. This is my whiteboard. I originally drew this with a load of words about what I want to get out of cooking outside, and then I've done some 3D renders of what this kitchen might look like with the space and dimensions. It's not 100% there, and I've got Gemini, I think, to render some pictures. So this is what we'll be building. Something like this. Looks a bit like that. Looks a bit like this, and looks a bit like that. So morning. So this is the morning routine. I'm going to take some salad leaves, put them in a bowl. So all we do is we just take ones on the outside. So this is for one person salad today, so that's enough of the leaves. And we'll try and take some herbs. So we'll take, so oregano is about to go crazy, so we're going to take some oregano in our salad. We need to weed here, see these thistles are coming up big time. Back to weeding this garden. It's growing a lot in the sun and now it's raining. We're going to weed it anyway. Weeding. Fennel's lovely. I think I'm going to have some hyssop in. Today's a bit young still. A bit oregano, but a bit of time. It's like time. All stages nice. Young leaves in the middle. Cook it first thing in the morning. This one's quite nice as well, so it's all doing well. Take some of the younger leaves again because they are by far sweeter. Oh, ants. Make some lemon balm tea this morning, so that's this one here, because it's done really well. It grows fast as well, so I can take a good few heads of that. Ding ding. And I'm going to mix it with some of this apple mint in here, I think. So look, let's take a head of that one off. Going to break that up, put it in the middle, all good. Tea's gonna be ready soon. Making some bread. We're just going to do a loaf. We're just going to use our flour, which we get from Shipton Mill, then our yeast, our butter, some olive oil, some salt. Very simple recipe, so we'll see how it goes. We're going to use our stand mixer, using the dough hook today. Scales with our metric weights today, because we're going to use this machine here. So I might set this up now, get it ready nice and warm. So this is our prover. It's really good when it's like this, easy to put away, doesn't take up too much space, and then basically you just bring it up like this, plug it in, set the temperature, put that in, you might want to look in the top, and then we plug in and you set what temperature you want to preview. I think I've got it to about 28, which works. So we're doing 400 gram loaf, so we're doing 400 grams. This is where accuracy does make a difference. When you do bread, it is about the moisture content. Now, depending on the weather, this flour could be drier or wetter, more moisture in it, depending on how long it's been in the bag, how long it's been in the cupboard. So when we add the water, it is by instinct a little bit, but we know roughly how much. We'll do that when we get there. So flour goes in first. We need 7 grams of yeast. It's hard with these little rates. Now what we're going to do is put that into a jug with some of the water. So 1 gram of water is the same as 1 milliliter of water, 250 grams. Or we can just weigh out our water here. And we may not have to add all of it. Activate this yeast with a little bit of this water. So we're just going to put in a little bit. I'm going to whisk that yeast, and you'll start to notice that as it activates, it'll start foaming. My water measured up into that empty jug. Small bit of butter into this recipe, so we're going to go 25 grams. And you can skip the butter and bread altogether, it changes the crust. Break that up and put that into the flour. We're just going to add our active yeast because it's a bit foamy. Add all that water in. And then we're just going to use a spoon to put it together before we start kneading it. You can just turn the kneader on, but I find it's quicker to get it going with the spoon. Machine goes down. It gets plugged in. Right, so we think that's almost there in the dough, so we're only making this little loaf, I say little. So we're just going to do a bit of hand kneading just to check that we're happy with it. So that is nice and soft, nice and silky texture. No lumps, no bumps, and stretchy. My wife taught me this trick. Oil the dough, not the bowl. So basically cover the dough with the oil, and then you put that in there, and that sits there for an hour or so, maybe longer. As I was saying, me and my son, we built this in half time. It's just some storage for our bikes. We just put in some old bits of wood that we took out, some architraves, some skateboard. No, that's just to hold it in place. So it means we can get our bikes in and out without having to climb over everything, which is really positive. We've still got stuff here, and then our garden tools are now hanging up here on these pegs. The pegs are just wedged between some bits of wood there, so it's good, so we can easily get our tools out now. And then the mowers around here a bit neater. Still more to tidy up in here, but it does look a hell of a lot better. Been in here for an hour in the preview, and you can see it's doubled in size, which is what we're looking for. What we need to do now is take this out, and we are going to put it into a tin. Do a simple trick of lining with a bit of paper. So you can get a piece of paper like that, I'm going to cut it straight along. Do that as well, so we'll just cut a piece that's, do another one for the other end. Caught in the bread as it expands. So I'm going to take this out, just release it from the bowl, and then how do we fit this into our thing? Well, what we're going to do, I just keep turning it. We've got quite big hands, that helps, but we end up on the bottom as a seam, and so we just keep turning that in until I'm happy that I've got a nice tight skin. We want it a bit sausage shaped, so I'm just going to roll that out on there and place that into the tin. Now this tin is bigger than the loaf we're making. We're going to put that on another proof for another hour. So if you take a look now at how much it's got in there, and then when we come back we'll take a look how far we've risen. But let's take a look at where the bread's at. So we were looking for really good double in size, and so this is now a really good size loaf. We need to wait for that to get to temperature, and then what we'll do is we'll make a little cut on the top so when it expands it doesn't split in the wrong place, and do a little bit of a smile. Now this knife isn't as sharp as maybe it needs to be to do it, but it looks like it's sunk in enough, so we'll put that in, and we'll put that in for 25 to 30 minutes. So. Right, the time has just gone. Standing hollow on the top. Standing hollow. We'll see what that's like. It hasn't puffed up in the oven, but I know it's risen a lot, so it's a strange shaped loaf. I think I could have done an 800 gram loaf in this tin. Maybe I should have done this in a smaller tin, but it should be nice. But later on we'll cut it open and see what it's like. Nice. One of the things we do in our house is we make our son's school meals. Now, our son, packed lunch, I think straightforward, cheese sandwich, but no, he doesn't eat cheese, he doesn't really eat ham in a sandwich, he doesn't really like sliced bread from the shop, so what we make him is we make homemade flatbreads, which we'll do probably next week because we need to make some more, and then we make a pulled pork filling. So we try and reduce the sugar in it. We do use black treacle, so there is sugar in it, and there's onion chutney which has got sugar in, but we're not adding like a refined sugar. We find he likes this one, so we do this recipe. So I'll show you how we make the pulled pork in the pressure cooker. What we've got here is a shoulder of pork shoulder joint from the supermarket. Prefer to get it from the butcher's, but this week we didn't have time to get there, so we've got this. What we're going to do is we're going to make a little rub with some of the paprika and the cinnamon and some flour on the outside. We're going to fry it off in some oil. We'll just use sunflower oil for this one, and then once that's done we'll put it into the instant pot in the pressure cooker with some garlic, onion treacle, caramelised onion chutney, and some apple juice. It's all down to people's preferences, right? So we've got this really nice smoked paprika. It's really nice smoked paprika, and we're going to put 2 teaspoons of that into this. 1, 2, generous. Then we've got some cinnamon. We're just doing half a teaspoon of that one. So it's mostly paprika, but just that extra bit of cinnamon helps. Just a tablespoon of plain flour. You can use a gluten-free flour if you want to do it intolerant, but it will also help to thicken the sauce later on. This process takes some time, it's not a quick recipe, but as you'll see here, we're just going to mix that together. Mix little spice rub. It smells so good with that paprika. Next up, we're just going to open up and we're just going to snip off the bindings because we don't need it bound. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. You can see we've undone it, so it looks like this. And we're just going to add it into our rub mix here. If it's wet, it's fine because it will soak up that flour and those flavours. And we're just going to keep rubbing it in till it picks up as much of that flavour as possible. And it should make a nice little crust. I'm just going to heat up a pan. So we've got an onion, which is a bit green. Again, it'll be fine for this recipe. Top and tail it. Take off the outer skin. I used to love it when it doesn't work the first time. Sometimes I'll take an extra layer off just to make my life easier. Take out the green bit. It's fine. Straightforward. And then I'm just going to chop that into slivers. It's just going to go in the bottom of the Instant Pot. So let's do that next. What we're doing is it will sit on this when it pressure cooks. And then these are going to go into the Instant Pot. Getting this hot is add some cooking oil. It should be nice and hot. And then with that, we're going to add our meat and just brown it off. Okay, next up we're going to take that and we're going to put it into the Instant Pot. So we've got our garlic and our onions already, and we're just going to take our meat and just going to place it in there as well. And then I tend to try and get as much of the flavour out of the pan as we can. First thing we're going to add is our apple juice. This is 200 mils, this is just a little carton. You can measure out from a bigger one. We just happen to have these little lunchbox ones in, and so that's really nice. Then we've got our favourite baker's honey, 2 tablespoons of that. 3 of the vinegar. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of black treacle. Let's have a look. 1 of those. 50 grams of onion chutney in. This is from the shop, but you can make your own. Now don't worry about mixing it too much because it will all combine as it heats. We need to set up the pressure cooker. Okay, so it has finished. It finished 34 minutes ago. To do it on this, you just push that down. It's not too bad today because it's already rested. If you do that straight away, you can get a lot of steam and it can make a right mess of your kitchen. What we do is wait for the silver weight to drop, and then we can open it up and see if the pulled pork is cooked. It smells amazing. It's released. And we can take that out. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what you want. Just as you put it together, it falls apart. So before I do that, I'm going to take it out. And I'm going to get the rest of the sauce out. That's falling apart, that's brilliant. And then we can reduce the liquid into a sauce. So we want to keep all this onion in here as well, because that will just soften and go into the sauce as well. We might add some salt to the sauce when we taste it as well. Eek. I'm just going to let that simmer down. We'll just shred up this pork and leave it to one side covered. And you simmer, and we're actually going to watch this reduce. As you can see, this is reduced right down into nice thick sauce, and what we're going to do now is pour the sauce over here. And we just put it into these tins and freeze it. Work out how much goes in each one. That's about right to me, so that's 2.5 weeks of sandwich filling for one child.